Well, good afternoon. We're very lucky to have with us in studio today the principal conductor of the RT Concert Orchestra, David Brophy. Thank you very much for coming in to talk to us, David.
You're welcome, Jim.
My first question for you is, you've worked with some pretty high profile and fantastic musicians in your career so far. Who for you has impressed you the most?
Well, I really enjoyed working with U2 when I performed with them on the Croke Park at the opening ceremony of the Special Olympics, and I thought Bono got the notion of, the strings and the orchestra being really important to their song. And I also really enjoyed working with John Lord, who was keyboard player with Deep Purple, and I think they were the musicians who probably impressed me the most.
Fantastic. As a person, you don't seem to come across as the most stereotypical type of classical conductor, quite pompous and distant. You seem to be much more easy to talk to, much more a man of the people. Was that a deliberate decision on your part to be that type of conductor?
No, I'm completely off the wall, Tim. I'm a big egotistical maniac. No, this is just who I am. I grew up in a pretty normal family, I reckon as normal as any other families. My father worked in the ESB. There's no real music in the family. I think my father's mother played piano. And that's just what I do. It's my job and I really enjoy it.
So how did you discover music then if your family weren't particularly musical?
I think maybe it discovered me. My mother kicked me into a choir when I was about 10,
okay.
And I really enjoyed it and took up the piano when I was 13, and it sort of went on from then, and I'm now here. And that's just the way it went. I don't know how it happened in between that, but that's how it started. So
fantastic. Okay, well, listen, thank you very much for coming in to talk to us. And now we'll go back to Jessica, who's in the studio. Anti-war activist Mary Kelly walked away a free woman this afternoon after her conviction for criminal damage on a US military aircraft in June 2006 was quashed by the High Court. Miss Kelly, who chose to represent herself during the trial, was found guilty of causing damage estimated to be more than €1.1 million. However, the appeals court deemed that verdict to be unsafe after it was discovered that the prosecution had withheld key information relating to a point of law, which could have had serious implications for the outcome of the trial. A spokeswoman for the Peace and Neutrality Alliance has said that the impact of this verdict will be very important for a similar case due to come before the courts later next year. Timothy Telford, RT News, at the Central Criminal Court. Good evening and welcome to this evening's questions and answers. As we enter our second week of the election campaign, we're joined in studio by senior representatives of the three main political parties: Mary Coughlin of Fianna Fáil, Michael Noonan of Fine Gael and Rory Quinn of Labour. Shane Ross and Joe Daly are also with us to plead the case for the independents, and Breda Power of the Irish Times will give us her perspective on, amongst other things, the televised debate between Micheál Martin and Eamon Gilmore last Monday. It was revealed in the news this week that 30% of Irish males over 30 are still living at home. We hit the streets of central Dublin to find out just what the Irish public thought of these big boys still hanging off their mummy's apron strings. Would you go out with a guy if he was still living with his parents and he was over 30?
I'd probably date a guy at that stage, but...
Would it be a bit of a problem for you?
It would. Well, I have my own house, so it's okay.
No, my mum would kill me. I would like to think there'd be an exceptional circumstance or reason for it.
They should have their own life at this stage, at 30 years of age. At 22 or 3, we had our own life. We had 2 kids.
My impression is that lots of men who still live with their moms are used to their mom taking care of everything, cooking for them, doing the laundry.
If you move out of your house when you're like 30, you're never gonna have your own independence. You're never gonna be able to live on your own. Do you know what I mean?
I like having my own independence and things, and like having my own house and inviting my friends over to my house. I couldn't do that if my mum and dad was still living in the house with me.
Either they're mommy's boys and they like mommy's cooking and washing, or they don't have a job.
So there you have it, boys. If you're over 30 and mum's still doing the cooking, it's time to pack your bags and go.